Hi there! In the previous videos of this revision series, we gave you some advice about getting ready for the exam. Then, we discussed a few tips related to reading comprehension. In this new video, we will focus on the language part. So, let's have a look at a sample. We chose the 2018 exam. The link to it is below the video. As you see, language is generally composed of 3 exercises. The first is most often a fill-in-the-blanks one. It contains 5 or 6 gaps to be filled from a list with 2 extra items. Let's now talk in more details about how to deal with this exercise. In the instruction, we are asked to fill in the blanks with 6 words from the list. First, we advise you to read the list of the words carefully. But don't worry if you don't understand all the items in it. You can still answer correctly by applying some of the strategies that you learned in class. We will, of course, learn some of these while doing the exercise. After that, read the paragraph attentively to understand what is it about. By the way, you must have noticed that the first sentence is always left complete. This is because it gives you an idea about the context of the paragraph. So make sure you understand it very well. Something else, do not make it your main objective to fill in the blanks during the first reading. If you manage to fill in a few gaps, that's fine. But bear in mind that your focus must be most and foremost to understand the paragraph. For the second reading, start focusing on the sentences and their structure in order to see which function the missing word has in the sentence. This helps you decide which part of the speech, or, in other words, which type of word is suitable to be placed in each gap. For instance, a noun, a verb, a past participle, etc. Then check if the meaning of the sentence is correct. Write your answers on the rough paper first, then copy them on the test paper once you are sure you got everything right. By the way, use a pen, not a pencil, to write your answers on the test paper. And something else. When you copy the words, pay great attention to their spelling, because any mistake in language is penalized, even those that you might think of as small mistakes, like adding an E at the end of the word. Besides, if the word is at the beginning of the sentence, turn its first letter into a capital one, even when it's written without capitalization in the list. Let's get back to the 2018 exam and explain how using specific strategies will help you while doing the exercise. As you can see on the screen, the first gap separates a noun, which is respect, from another noun, which is life. We know that after respect, we can have the preposition of or for. In the list, there is the preposition for. So, this can be the right answer. Let's read the sentence using it. It was meant to encourage respect for life on Earth. It makes sense. We'll keep this as our answer on the rough paper. Now, carry on reading till you reach the end of the sentence containing the second gap. It seems we have blank. What a beautiful gift planet Earth is. If we feel it is difficult to guess the suitable word here, you can leave this gap blank and get back to it later on when you have fewer words in the list to choose from. But anyway, let's give it a try. It seems that prepositions and nouns won't make sense here. It looks like What is missing is related to the verb. Generally, a sentence begins with a subject, which is we, followed by a conjugated verb. There is have, which can be considered the verb or a part of the verb. Remember that one of the tenses that we have studied this year is the present perfect, which is made up of have or has plus past participle. In the list, there is the past participle of the verb to forget. If we read the sentence using this word, we'll find that it is both meaningful and grammatically correct. It seems we have forgotten what a beautiful gift to planet Earth is. It means that the action started in the past and continues in the present. Have forgotten. Let's keep this answer for the time being then. Next, the paragraph says, it is our home that we need to blank in order to stay healthy and blank. Concerning the first gap in this sentence, before it, we have need to. And you know quite well that we say need to do something. So we have to write a verb in the base form here. In the list, there are two verbs in the base form, live and protect. We can't write it is our home that we need to live in order to stay healthy, because this doesn't make sense. However, if we write it is our home that we need to protect in order to stay healthy, the sentence has a clear meaning. Now, concerning the second gap in this same sentence, to stay healthy and blank, there is no new subject and no new verb here. We are just adding one word. We have the adjective healthy before the conjunction and. So we need a word of the same nature. Let's have a look at the remaining words in the list. There are actually two adjectives, alive and live, if we consider it to be an adjective here, like in live show or live music. To take a decision, we must focus on the meaning. By doing so, it becomes clear that the correct answer is alive. Good. Now, a new sentence. Over 20 million people participated in blank to mark the first Earth Day. We know that with the verb to participate, we can have the preposition in followed either by a noun or a verb plus ing. In the list, there are no verbs in the ing form, so the only option left is a noun. It cannot be a singular noun because we need an article like a, an, or the before it, if it is a countable noun in the singular. We can, therefore, discard globe. By the way, it's not a problem if you don't know the word globe. You can still put a question mark next to it. And for this gap, write on your rough paper events and globe, and underline events as this seems to be the most popular answer. Okay, let's continue reading. It turned out to be so contagious that today over 1 billion people all over the blank celebrate Earth Day. Does this all over the ring bells? Actually, it might remind you of a familiar expression which is all over the world. Unfortunately, we don't have word in the list, But we know that word is a noun. And even without following this logic, we have the definite article the before the gap, and after the gap there is a verb. This means that most probably we need a noun here and not the superlative, for instance. We have already found out that there are only 2 nouns in the list, or at least we are 100% sure that apart from globe, which we don't know, all the other words except events are not nouns. So we can say that the correct answer is either globe or events. But when we read the sentence using events, it doesn't make sense. Therefore, the only possibility left is globe. And anyway, for the previous sentence, the word events fits perfectly well, be it at the level of meaning or grammatical accuracy. So, there we are. We succeeded in identifying all the correct answers. You see, it's not that difficult. But of course, we advise you to read the whole paragraph again before writing the final answers. And equally important, don't forget to manage your time adequately. Okay? Good. Before ending this video, let us check that you got the mentioned recommendations right. Here are 4 situations, and our mission is to spot what's wrong in each of them. In the first one, the student wrote on this test paper, "It was meant to encourage respect for life on Earth." Could you guess what the mistake is? It's that she wrote "for" with a capital letter, whereas it must be with small f. You might think this is not a mistake, but we advise you not to capitalize letters when there is no clear rule that requires you to do so. Let's move on to study the next case. The student wrote, "It seems we have forgotten what a beautiful gift planet Earth is." I think the mistake here is easier to spot than in the previous situation. Actually, the student wrote forgotten with 1 T instead of 2 T's. The third student filled in the gap using 2 words from the list, protect and live. It's true that the correct answer here is protect, but the student will get a 0 for this gap because she didn't respect the instruction. The final case. The student wrote the answers on the test paper using a pencil. We have already mentioned that for the English exam, you must use the blue pen. All right. Now, this quiz leads us to the end of the video. We hope that the provided pieces of advice will be of great help to you, not only during the exam, but also for learning English in general. Thank you for watching.